The Dragonfly LDM system additively manufactures functional electronic devices. Implementing AME technology, the Dragonfly LDM prints planar and 3D electromechanical devices based on designs created in ECAD software. Let's take a look at the Dragonfly LDM and its components. When using the Dragonfly LDM, safety is extremely important. Printer doors are made from an organic glass that blocks radiation. By default, the doors are closed and the system operates in safety mode. If a door is open during operations, the system automatically stops. To halt the machine during an emergency, press the EMO button. At the heart of the system, there are two printheads which simultaneously jet conductive ink, known as CI, and dielectric ink, known as DI. Both inks have been developed exclusively for the Dragonfly system. Each printhead has 512 nozzles through which the inks are jetted. CI is made of advanced silver nanoparticles that are suspended in a solvent and other liquids. As the ink is jetted onto a hot printing tray, its liquids evaporate. The nanosilver particles that remain on the tray are then exposed to heat of IR. This sinters the nanoparticles together to form a material with a continuous conductive pattern. DI is a monomer-based ink. Once jetted onto the print tray, the DI is exposed to UV light, which polymerizes and hardens it. The polymerized DI acts as insulation between the conductive elements and gives structure to the AME board. The group holds the printheads and the UV lamp. It also has a camera that is used for print calibration purposes. During printing and the printhead cleaning sequences, the group moves back and forth in the group axis. It also moves up and down in the Z-axis. The Dragonfly LDM system is controlled and monitored by the Dragonfly LDM application, which is installed on a dedicated PC. The cooling system is responsible for ensuring the printheads do not overheat. It is composed of a chiller, green coolant liquid, and tubes. The chiller is set to 30 degrees Celsius. Actual allowed temperature is 30 degrees Celsius plus or minus 1.5 degrees Celsius. The pneumatic section includes air and vacuum pumps, tubes, and valves. These are used for ink circulation and to enable cleaning the printheads. The right gray ink tank is the main CI tank. When filling this tank, it is recommended to add up to 100 cc of CI at a time. The left yellow tank is the main DI tank. When filling this tank, it is recommended to add up to 200 cc of DI at a time. The ink flows from the main tanks to the CI and DI secondary tanks, and from there to the CI and DI printheads via the yellow ink delivery system tubes. AME printed devices are built layer by layer on a print substrate that is tightly attached to the chuck by vacuum. During printing, the chuck is heated to 140 degrees Celsius and moves back and forth over the print axis. The waste container holds ink remains and used printhead washing fluid. It must be disposed of according to local regulations. Printhead washing fluid is added to the DI and CI printheads washing fluid tanks via the DI and CI washing fluid funnels. Let's look at the group from the back service doors view. As you can see, there are a number of tubes. The yellow ink delivery system, or IDS tubes, hold the DI and CI as it flows to the printheads. The transparent pneumatic systems tubes. The cooling systems tubes carry the coolant. And the black and gray electricity and communication tubes. The washing and purging processes that safeguard the printhead nozzles are performed in the cleaning station, which has the following components: 2 washing ports that inject printhead washing fluid towards the printheads during the washing sequence, 2 suction cups that suck up the injected washing fluid and the ink remains, 2 purging baths at the starting position of the purging sequence, an air knife that sucks up the remaining ink from the group frame during the purging sequence. Purging sequence is automatically performed every 3 minutes during printing and when the machine is idle. Printheads are also washed every 2 hours during printing and every 8 hours when the printer is idle. During the purging and washing sequences, printing stops, and the group moves to its position above the cleaning station. Note that the CI remaining from the purging process is sucked back by the CI suction cup and is transferred to the separator for recycling. The DI remaining from the purging process and the washing fluid used to wash the printheads are transferred to the waste container. The separator separates the remaining CI from the humid air, and the recycle pump then pumps the CI to the main CI tank. The ink pump then pumps CI from the main CI tank to the secondary CI tank. The main electrical unit supplies and controls the power and the communication between the Dragonfly system's electric components. That's it! We have just completed an overview on the Dragonfly LDM system and its components.